This is probably like really bad quality, but I don't have time to make this perfect. But anyways, hello. I have no introduction, so I'm just gonna get right into it. It's been quite a while since I did an album review, and even though I only did one, I'm pretty sure I said in my last one that I was gonna do more, but I can't remember if I said soon or not. But I'm not gonna look back. Well, it doesn't matter because I'm doing one right now. So, 21 Pilots' fifth studio album, Trench, and yes, I said fifth. I count Regional at Best as an album. But anyways, this might be recorded on separate days, so this might actually be a part one. But anyways, this album is highly anticipated, mainly since they started their hiatus back in 2017. Maybe even before. Probably even before. Probably right after Blurryface came out. Oh my god, I can't wait for another album! By 21 Pilots. I don't know why I did that voice. I do that voice a lot. I've been doing that a lot. Anyways, I'm talking too much. But yeah, they were on a hiatus for a year, and the clique literally went insane because of it. But I have to say, this album was definitely worth the wait. There's so much good about it, where do I even begin? I guess I'll start off with the remains of Blurryface, and by that I mean Heavy Dirty Soul music video. And if you guys haven't heard the song or seen the music video, I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's such a great track and one of my all-time favorite 21 Pilots songs. But anyways, pretty much Trench picks up right off the Heavy Dirty Soul music video with a jumpsuit music video that was released back in July. And there are literally like never before scenes of Tyler dancing around on a burning car that were in the jumpsuit music video. So they were kind of like flashback scenes or something. So pretty much this means that 21 Pilots have been planning this for about a couple of years before the album release, which is just amazing. Not only that the music videos now are connecting, but the entire era is just one huge story. The story of Dima and Clancy and the Vultures and Bishops and so much more. It's a lot to explain. I'll get deeper into this whole storyline as I get into the tracks, at least I'll try to, because as you know, I like to rank tracks from least favorites to favorites. So I think I'll start that right now. I'll just get right into it. Who knew that the very last track would be my least favorite? But don't get me wrong, I really like this song. It's just that I like 13 other songs just a little bit better than this one. Though I'm telling you, the melodies and the vocals are the peak of the song. The drums keep the song very engaging. But this song reflects a story about the city of Dima, which represents Tyler's bad thoughts. In the beginning of the song, he's telling us how he's basically almost given up and given in to his bad thoughts and trapped in the city of Dima in this world. But then in the bridge, it sounds like he hasn't completely given up, saying, "In time, I will leave the city. For now, I will stay alive." Saying that he knows that he's not going to give up. Eventually, he'll make it out for good. And finally, at the end of the song, he says, "But this year, though I'm far from home, in Trench, I'm not alone." It's the only time he actually mentions Trench. Kind of like in Stressed Out, he mentions Blurryface, the name of their last album. But even though Tyler spent all that time in his basement, he says that this year he's been far from home. So that must mean that he's been in the world of Trench, creating this album. And also, sorry for not giving a better explanation, but I got 13 more songs to explain. So, on to the next one. What a slow, beautiful track known as Bandito. The vocal melodies along with the piano really blend perfectly well together. And then we get a pleasant surprise of Tyler rapping in this song. And of course Josh never fails to add on perfectly with his smooth and perfect phrasing with his rhythms and patterns on the drums. This is a pretty long track too, and this one I don't know too much about. I know that it's another song that reflects the story of Dima, and I tried theorizing about the song, but I didn't really get much out of it, unfortunately. But what really stuck out to me were the lines, "I created this world to feel some control, destroy it if I want, so I could sing Salo, Felina Salo." And I have no idea what Felina Salo or Salo Felina even means. I even tried looking it up, but I got nothing out of that either. But I know that "I created this world" means that he created Trench to feel some control. And again, I don't really know much about this song, so I guess I'll go on to the next one. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, and I put my glasses on for some reason. This one is probably the most depressing song on the album, literally talking about suicide, which is of course something 21 Pilots has talked about many times before, so I wasn't surprised. It's a very sad and relaxing sounding song, though I really love the chords and the drum beats along with Tyler rapping over them. Neon Gravestones is pretty hard to explain without getting the wrong idea of the song. It almost sounds like how when celebrities kill themselves or die, they get even more praised. So when Tyler says "neon gravestones try to call from my bones," it must mean that they are his thoughts of him ending his own life just to get him more famous. And then later on in the song, you'll hear neon gravestones try to call for my bones, but they won't get them. No, they won't get them. So that obviously means that Tyler is going to stay alive. And possibly my favorite line of the entire song is, find your grandparents or someone of age, pay some respects for the path that they paved, to life they were dedicated, now that should be celebrated. And that's the last thing you'll hear on that song. And that's pretty much means that our grandparents and the elderly should be respected for pushing through life, through tough times, which should inspire teens nowadays to keep pushing as well, to keep on living. Now, this was one of two singles that was released on July 11th, pretty much announcing Trench and all that. And it makes sense that this is track 9, because this song is literally called Nico and the Niners. When I first heard this, I thought it was pretty good. Of course, I liked Jumpsuit better, but this one wasn't bad either. I love the vibe it had, and the sound and mixing was terrific. The ukulele sounds are great in this track as well as the bass. And of course Josh providing us with all those smooth and chill beats. It's a pretty chill song too, it makes sense. The lyrics would definitely have a lot to do with the story, hence the song title. Nico and the Niners are basically the bishops he mentions in the song, and no, they're not a baseball team. He also mentions that Dima doesn't control him, he mentions the jumpsuit, he mentions a lot that has to do with the whole story about the city of Dima. And speaking of which, in the music video, Josh and the Banditos pretty much go to Dima to retrieve Tyler to get him the hell out of there. And to sum it up, in very simple words, Banditos, good. Bishops, bad. And I would have to say my only complaint about this song is that the lyrics are kind of repetitive, but in a sense that it works. So it's not really a complaint. I'm just kind of pointing it out, but I'm fine with it. What makes it up for is the fact that the bridge, that they literally reverse the instrumental of the song, put some beats over it, and then Tyler starts rapping, and it's insane. I remember having a huge smile on my face when I first listened to that part. I remember hearing the leak of this song a week before the album was released, and I really enjoyed it, but I had no clue what the song was about until I watched a video telling us that it was basically about his grandfather, who unfortunately passed away back in March. And I couldn't tell what it was about because, it was a leak. I had no lyrics to read. Yeah. And I was in shock because now looking back at the lyrics now, it all makes sense to me. Although the music and instrumentals are very uplifting and happy sounding, the lyrics are very touching and meaningful and have a sad but happy blend. And it's a pretty short track too. The instrumentals once again make the song very catchy. The drums and electronic piano really support that, and of course the horns, bass, and the ukulele as well, giving me another retro vibe altogether. The vocals are just very enjoyable, especially when Tyler sings falsetto. There's not really much more I could talk about this song other than the fact that it's really enjoyable. Of course, highly recommended. This entire album is highly recommended. This is an interesting one. The instrumentals remind me a lot of their older work. The weird electronic noises along with Josh's drum beats. This track seems to be about Tyler's wife, how he would do anything for her, how he would not only try to protect her, but even take a beating for her, how he would get beat to smithereens. But then later on in the song, he points out how he doesn't want to be one of those basic artists that writes songs about his girl, but he does it in such a unique way that you wouldn't hear freaking Maroon 5 or some basic artist talking about that. And I don't mean to hate on Maroon 5, I love their older work, keyword, older. So as you can clearly see, this is filmed on a separate day because I got busy the rest of the day the last time. So I'm going to talk about one more song in this video, and that'll be the end of part 1. So anyways, this beat is a chemical, and well, so is the name of this track. Chlorine at first didn't wow me like the first 4 tracks on Trench. The production is just amazing, it's very well mixed. I love the changes of the song, those really surprised me. The lyrics are also pretty interesting. Slipping on straight chlorine, let the vibe slide over me. This beat is a chemical, beat is a chemical. Now, some people would say that this is about suicide, but I highly disagree. Because then he says the moment is medical, so it's probably the opposite of killing him. It's probably cleaning him, since the name of the song, Chlorine, that's what it does. I don't really have anything else but to say about the song, so I think that will be the end of this video for now. Sorry this was a short one, but I will be back with another video, obviously, part 2, and yeah. So, one more thing, I changed my mind about chlorine and smithereens. I actually like smithereens a little better than chlorine, so that makes chlorine number 9 and smithereens number 8. and I couldn't fix that in editing because of the separate dates I filmed those two clips. So I'm just making this small little clip right now. So see you in part 2.